Welcome to the Read Your Keys podcast. I am your host, Joel Lopez. If you're enjoying the content, please like, subscribe, squish, smash, and pulverize those like, follow, and subscribe buttons. We're on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Ricky Baby, getting that water. It's going to be a barn burner, huh? We're headed towards the end here.
Goodbye, Pac-12.
Oh, no. It wasn't even close. It wasn't even close.
Nope.
I wasn't
Oregon is
surprised.
who we thought they were.
I wasn't surprised.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. And I'm not surprised there will be no representation again. You know what? Here, let's make a prediction. When do you think the Pac-12 will ever make the playoffs again? In a 4-team scenario. In a 12-team, they'd
have to in the 12 team. In a 4-team,
well, they don't have to, but what's Oregon rank? What did Oregon drop to?
11.
They have to lose Oregon State, which is conceivable.
It is, because Oregon State is a similar. They look similar to Utah. Big power offense, that running back from Utah. He's a thick.
You just say
powerful
big power offense with Oregon or Ohio State. Which team we talking about? Oregon State or Ohio State?
No, the style of offense they run. It's double tight ends, three tight ends, and then run it at you. That's
who else runs an offense like that? A big power offense. Mount Sac. What's your point?
Mount Sac. Sac dogs represent, baby.
The Mounties.
The running back from Arizona State. He's a Sac dog. He's good. Rashad White.
No Pac-12, but continue. Yeah. Please continue.
So you know, man, don't disrespect the Sac dogs. DJ Ungalele, he had them in his top 5. DJ did
have Mount Sac.
Yeah, well, because his uncle coached, and his dad and his brother and all those uncles, they all played there. Yeah, so he would go there as a kid. So like just as a hey,
never going to Mount Sac.
He was never gonna go, but it was fun. It was fun.
It was between Clemson and Oregon the whole time.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was fun to see him do that. Don't
here's a question for you. I want your object. It's very hard for you to be objective.
It is. I'm a fan,
but I'm gonna ask you to. Is the Pac-12 a Power 5 conference?
Well, they are a Power 5 conference, but you could make the argument really should be, is there actually a Power 5? Because Clemson or the ACC.
I'm not asking you about the ACC. I'm asking you about the Pac-12. See, you just answered the question when you deflected. So let's move on. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the point, right? The power
for the last 5-7 years.
The Power 5.
Pac-12.
It shouldn't have been a Power 5. It should really have been a Power 2 or 3.
Well, that's all of them. But for the last 12 years.
What do you mean it's all of them?
For the last 7 years, other than the SEC. For the last.
Well, yeah, because the SEC, the Big Ten, but really we're just talking Ohio State.
Well, I'm talking Pac-12. So in the last 7 years, has the Pac-12 been a Power 5 conference?
I mean, you're asking. Oh, I mean when did Washington go? That was 5 years ago, right?
7.
It's been that long.
Mm-hmm.
Are you sure?
Well, it's only been 5, so yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's been. This will be like 6 years, I guess.
But they don't make it.
Yeah.
So I mean, they have, but if you're telling me last 3 years, then the Pac-12 hasn't been close.
They haven't been close since Washington made it.
Right.
Yeah, which is like 5.
But then even before that, remember Oregon was in the inaugural with Mariota.
But then we're not talking even before that.
Yeah, I know, but 5 to 7 years.
But Oregon has been like trash. And Oregon would have won a few times, but then to their credit, they'd schedule an opening game against the SEC, get knocked out, and their playoff chances are gone.
I think Utah might have made a run like a year.
Utah never had a shot that year. That was Kirk Herbstreit pumping up Utah.
They were being pumped up. Everybody gets pumped up, though.
Everybody gets never getting there.
Everybody gets pumped up, man.
They were never going to be there.
I don't think there is a power five. I think that, I mean, the ACC has shown that that's not a power five conference this year. I guess the Pac-12 has shown it for multiple years. Like really, uh, even the Big Ten, like last year with the Rona, like those conferences were the first ones to say they weren't going to play. Like I didn't like that. Like so.
Well, you can't say the Big Ten's not a Power Five this year.
Not this year, but really, when we're talking the Big Ten as a Power Five, we're really just talking Ohio State.
No, you could. Wisconsin's competitive every year. Penn State's competitive every year.
Oh yeah, Penn State. I do like Penn State.
So no,
I do like Penn
not
State.
true.
But none of them really compared to the SEC though.
Well, the SEC's in a class all by themselves.
That's what I mean. It's just really like
nothing compares.
The Big Ten has Ohio State, and then maybe two other teams that kind of come in and compete. I mean, I really like the way Penn State plays on defense. That they're kind of consistent. They get consistently good athletes there. I mean, I haven't been sold on Michigan for a while, and that hurts to say because I really liked what Harbaugh did at Stanford. And I thought
Are you sold on them this year?
No, I'm not.
So they're gonna get massacred just like Michigan State did.
I think they get. I don't know if they get massacred like Michigan. I haven't even watched Michigan play this year because it's just not.
They can run the ball, but you got to be able to. The running game's going to help them because you got to keep Ohio State's offense off the field. If you can't, you're dead.
The thing, man, is I thought he would be able to get whatever players he got at Stanford, he would be able to get better than that at Michigan and be able to develop quarterbacks.
So let's remember something. He won at Stanford, who's in a very weak conference. Now he went into upgraded conferences.
No, that's not the case because that was Pete Carroll. Pete Carroll was there at SC, and SC was still SC.
Stanford did give SC problems.
Yeah, they won those games. Toby Gerhart was there running the ball. Mm-hmm. McCaffrey.
But let's be clear. SC was running through a weak conference back then. They had no competition when they had those guys.
Well, nobody was really competition for them. I mean, they'd go and beat Notre Dame. They would go and beat Auburn.
There was nobody even close to the level of SC in the Pac-12 when
Cal was.
Cal.
Yes. Aaron Rodgers.
One-off years.
Aaron Rodgers. What are you talking about? That was Aaron Rodgers and like Marshawn Lynch, man.
What did they do?
They almost everybody that played SC almost was like these were teams that almost beat SC. That's like you can say the same thing about those Miami teams. Like who that was a weak conference.
There was a weak conference.
The Big East.
Yeah, the Big East was a weak conference. I know, but Miami was massacring them, running.
Yeah, so that's the same thing with.
But Miami played.
No, I should say the Pac-10,
like Oklahoma,
the Pac-10,
Notre Dame, Catholic versus convicts.
The Pac-10, I think, was actually better than it is now.
When back then?
Back then, yeah.
Well, okay, thank you for that low bar to conquer.
No, I mean you had the Arizona State teams. I mean, if we're going back to the
Arizona
90s.
State teams.
Mm-hmm. You know what? Arizona State was actually really good during those SC years.
1 year, Arizona State was number 3 in the country. I remember that. Then they lost.
Yeah, to SC. Thank you for making my point.
No.
Yes.
1 year. Yes. We're talking about everybody's good 1 year. I remember when Vanderbilt was good at 1 year.
Yeah.
But I'm not pumping them up.
Yeah. Well, Franklin was the coach, right? And then he took off.
Yeah, but 1 year. Okay.
Well, Vanderbilt's a hard place to.
Yeah. I remember when Missouri played Auburn for the Southeastern Conference champion. I'm not pumping up Missouri as the program that dominates.
The point is that you're saying that SC was running through a weak conference, and there was good teams. SC was just that good.
You know what? Pac-12.
And look, you're talking to a guy that hates USC.
Oh, SC had a good team. I'm not even.
No, they had great teams. What are you talking about? They had a good team.
Yeah, they were good. They were great. Yeah, I mean, yeah, they had some great teams.
Carson Palmer, Matt Leinart. I mean, that
it's just easier to. Can you put that team in the SEC and they go run rampant? You got bye weeks like 9 out of your 11 games.
The SEC wasn't as good as it is now. Then
no,
they went and beat up on Auburn.
SC did.
Yeah, I think that was the Cadillac. No. That might have been Cadillac Williams, Ronnie Brown. I think that might have been.
Auburn won the national championship. The next year, everybody left. SC plays them that year.
No, they hadn't won the national championship yet. I think that was before that.
Or they went, or they didn't. They should have won the national championship. They
might have that
were undefeated.
That might have been the case.
Yeah, so that was the case then. They should have been.
I remember Mark May was like, these Southern California pretty boys are going to go to the South. They're going to get work.
No, he said that Auburn wasn't even the same Auburn team.
Said that. Mark May said that.
Okay, Mark May did. But everybody knew that Auburn wasn't the same team because everybody left. It was the opening game. I remember that.
I remember that too. I don't remember what happened the year before.
I think SC shut them out. I think it was like 20-0 that game.
Yeah, they put.
But it wasn't the same Auburn team.
Put the clamps on them.
The previous Auburn team, that would have been a completely different story from the year before. But sometimes you schedule these games.
Yeah,
but you don't understand what the recruiting cycle is and who's.
Yeah,
leaving.
I mean, but like when Miami scheduled Bama, we knew it was like, ooh, that's not a good idea.
I didn't like it.
And you went to the game. So, I mean, but I don't look at like whatever they call the power five. To me, it's really like the power two, because the other conferences that they call the power five, which is the ACC, the Big 12, and the Pac-12. I mean,
I'm gonna tell you something though. Everybody's giving the national championship to Georgia.
Okay.
Do not count out Ohio State. That's all I'm going to say. They are clicking on all cylinders, and they got an offense that Georgia does not, and their defense is playing lights out right now.
I don't know if their defense is playing lights out. That Michigan State. Okay, so Oregon, Utah, that's done. I didn't think it was going to be that much of a domination. I just thought they would win 7-14.
That game ended on the punt return before halftime.
Oh, it did. But even before that, it was like
it was over. But yeah, it was over.
Yeah, what was it? What's our boy Chick Hearn used to say? The Jello's jiggling, the
Jello's
cheese
jiggling, the eggs are getting cold, and the mustard's off the hot dog.
Yeah, that was, the door was shut, and it was just done from there. Which was really impressive what they did. Now going to Ohio State, Michigan. I saw like the first drive and they just like went down. It was 7-0. And then I went to my kid's game. I saw a guy, he had his Ohio State jersey on, and I was like, hey, what's this? I think you might have texted me the game, but I was like, hey,
I said, this is a massacre. You said, what's the score? I said, 49-0 halftime. You just laughed.
Halftime. That is crazy.
They demolished
my boy Kenneth Walker only had 6 carries.
How you gonna give him the ball when you're down by?
That's 49? That's true. But still, man, like you would think during the at the front end of the game, you're still running the ball, that he would have.
Now when you're behind like that,
they were. Even then, if you're down by 14, you would think you'd get your start.
But you're down by 14 for a second.
Yeah, I didn't think that offense was very good. I thought it flashed because he is that. I think he's that guy. Like, I'm really high on that kid. Like he's really nice. He's a really nice player. But everything else I saw was just like, hey, I don't see what the it. And I was talking to the Ohio State guy. He was kind of an obnoxious, like Ohio State's like, yeah, man, we're killing them. It was like, oh, what did I say? Shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, I was like, I didn't think Michigan State was very good. Anyway, he's like, yeah, me either. I don't understand like why they were ranked so high.
Because they beat Michigan. I don't know. They were ranked high when they beat Michigan. So who knows?
Yeah. So I didn't see that, but I kind of hope this is the. We're assuming that there is going to be the Georgia Bama collision.
Assuming there is. They're already playing.
in the
That's a done deal.
for the SEC championship game.
Yeah, they both clinched.
Bama did, and okay, they did. Okay, but so the thing is, we want to see that Georgia defense go up against finally a high powered offense. I don't think they've played a high powered offense yet that
No,
I
they
can think
haven't.
of off the top of my head.
Nope.
So that'll be fun to watch, to see this defense,
Mhm.
which I think me and you kind of agree from what we've seen so far. It looks like an all timer, and which is I don't. You've watched a lot of football. I've watched a lot of football. I don't say that lightly. It looks like an all timer, and especially in this modern era when things are spread out and offenses put up points. That things are the the defense is already at a disadvantage. I think just the way the offenses are run now, just they're
Yep.
that good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with you. Georgia, they don't beat you; they dominate you, and they beat you to death.
Yeah,
You're getting 3 and outs like crazy, and their offense is not the fact that the offense is good; they're just on the field all the time.
Yeah.
So if Bama's defense steps up, they could shut down Georgia's offense. The
I
problem
do
with
like that tight end, the freshman tight end, man.
Georgia's tight end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's good. He's good.
He looks like he belongs, man. Freshman going to the SEC like that, that's the kid is built different.
The problem with Bama defense is they have too many lapses.
Mm-hmm.
They look great. It's like they bend, but they break. Their secondary is young and they just get burnt.
I think we talk about how they're like, I haven't looked at the Bama roster, so like like there's been so much turnover all the time. You can't keep track of anybody anymore unless like you're a big time Bama fan. I watch Bama, but I don't like check their roster like I would the UCLA roster. So I don't know like who's all where. But going back to like the defenses, that's what's so impressive about Georgia, because I think most defenses have to play that style now where like you have to take chances and blitz, and sometimes it's like, hey man, the blitz gets picked up and you got man to man, so big plays. Here it goes. That's kind of the nature of football now. You don't have these defenses like we did where 20 years ago, where it's like you could really put the clamps on them. Everybody's running in the box still a little bit more. Everything's spread out. It's just that's the way to play it, and that's what I think makes the Georgia defense so much more impressive.
Yeah, well, they're gonna blitz Bama. You got to account for Williams and Mechie.
Mm-hmm.
If he gets the game, because they're game breakers.
And Latu is no slouch.
No, he's not a slouch at all.
The running back he's a big boy, and Bryce Young can run.
That's gonna be a great game. We just need Bama to not have a letdown.
Yeah.
Against,
Auburn.
Yeah, that's a rivalry game.
It is a rivalry game. So let's kind of go through before we get there. So, where are my notes at? Yeah, Ohio State smashed Bama over Arkansas. So so the Arkansas team there's no walk in the park either. Like, I was not surprised by that score. I fully expected Arkansas to compete and make it competitive, and it was. Did you see the fake field goal? That was awesome, man. Did you see that?
I did.
That was such a good, like, you have to do that. Like, they knew that they had to do that.
David was not happy at all. But you got to do that. Here's the thing about Bama. So they're getting the rap against them is they're playing to a level of competition. But I watched their games. I think the competition is raising their level.
Yes.
And that Bama has to have that same high week in and week out.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's hard to do.
Like I think we had spoken earlier about how tough a stretch that Arkansas had, like during the middle, and it was like, I think they might have split it 2-2, and it was like, is this, they went down to the rankings, but it was just like, dude, this I've never seen something so brutal. I think they went like Mississippi State, Ole Miss, A&M, and there was another just straight dog that they played.
Arkansas another conference.
Yeah, for sure. Yes,
they can win the Big 12. If
they can win the Big 12, they can win the Pac-12, they could win the ACC.
Yeah. And they'd compete. They would be very competitive in the Big 10.
Yes, exactly.
The only team that could beat them is Ohio State, and they could compete.
I think they would compete. They just showed they could by competing with
Bama.
Yeah, I agree. That's how good that is. Yeah. That's a very good point.
Mm-hmm.
So Bama beats Arkansas. A tough game. I think they was at Arkansas, and now they have to go to Auburn in a rivalry game. Auburn is a dangerous team. I don't think it's like they're the same caliber. Hurt? I don't know, because I saw the other quarterback playing. I don't know if he got pulled.
I think Bo got hurt. If he ain't playing, game's over. But here's the thing. That other guy, I've seen him step up. Mm-hmm. He's actually more agile than Bo.
Well, he's a big kid, right? Because I think I saw him. He's number 12, I think, for some reason.
He's the one that brought him back against that FCS school.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, the last play of the game or something. Yeah. That would have been an embarrassing loss for Auburn.
Yeah, I
And then Bixby's good, the running back.
They usually always have good, but what's his name? Is it Tank?
Bixby?
Tank? I think his name is Tank.
Tank Bixby?
I think so.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know his first name.
Yeah, because I remember like, wow, like sometimes I just like to I catch him, be like, dude, that's the perfect name for like a linebacker. Some dude name, I don't know. I saw somebody, but I saw Auburn. He's like Tank Bixby. He's like, dude, that's a perfect name for a running back who's just coming in and crushing.
Don't let me down, Bama. Just keep winning. And
I like Auburn, but man, I really want that SEC championship game to have higher stakes. So yes. I'll be rooting for Bama, but I would not be surprised though, coming off of a hard fought game against.
They're not going to let down. You don't let down against a rivalry.
No, you don't let down against a rival, but a rival rises up. Just like you said, everybody's been rising up.
And there's fatigue. Bama. There's a fatigue factor too.
Yeah, man. I mean, those that Arkansas team, it's not a speed team. That's a physical, fast team too.
You got to get past this game, and you will not. I don't care how tired you are. The adrenaline will be there for Georgia.
Yeah, but you also have to think. I don't know what all the injury status is either, right?
For Bama, they're fine.
Well, it's easy for you to say. You didn't have to play Arkansas and then Auburn.
Yes, I did. I coached it.
You coached. Who else? Let's see. Cincinnati, man. I was hoping that SMU would come up, and you sent me the message. Their top two receivers are out. It's going to be a blowout. And then I checked the score a little bit later. I was like, oh, you were right. You called that one. I was like, oh,
we had to root for Houston. But I will say this. Right now, they deserve to be number 4. I don't think I mean, well, think about it. So who's 5?
That's what I was looking at. So let's
Michigan. I think Michigan beats Cincinnati, but it won't matter where Michigan is, because if they beat Ohio State, they'll jump them. If they lose Ohio State, they're behind them, so it don't matter.
Perfect segue, Ricky. I had the playoff next. Yeah, so Georgia, Ohio State, Bama. That's perfect. Cincinnati at 4. Michigan is at 5. And Notre Dame.
They can't jump.
They can't jump. There's nobody left to play.
You can't jump Notre Dame over Cincinnati under any circumstance.
No, you can't.
No. So Notre Dame is done. Unless
Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma.
No. The only way Notre Dame gets in is if Bama loses to Georgia. And Michigan, Notre Dame will get in because Michigan and Ohio State are going to knock each other out.
Okay, hold on. Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma. Do they jump to
Notre Dame?
No, do they jump to number 4?
No.
Because there's only what, 1 or 2 weeks left, right? I think Oklahoma State would have to beat
Oklahoma.
Last week
of the season. This is the last
have to beat Oklahoma once, and then again probably in their championship game, which then loses its luster.
No, if they beat Oklahoma have 2 losses, same as Baylor.
Also, they get to play Baylor again.
They'll be playing Baylor again.
And Baylor is at 8. Yeah. So Oklahoma State actually has a path. If Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma and Baylor, they deserve to be number 4. And Cincinnati is on the outside.
Cincinnati destroys Houston. You think the college football committee is going to let Baylor? So you got to do this on a week-by-week basis. So let's say Oklahoma. So if everybody wins, Baylor jumps to 7. They're not going to go from 7-4. I don't think that's going to happen.
Oklahoma, because so look at we're thinking that Ohio State beats Michigan.
Yes.
So Oklahoma State beats Oklahoma. So Oklahoma State will move to 5.
No.
And then
they'll move to 6, and Notre Dame will be at 5.
You think they'll just slide them up that way? Because Notre Dame is going to be playing a bad SC team.
But they've been playing bad teams, and they've been destroying them.
Yeah, but they haven't played anybody who's ranked number 10.
Okay, so
besides Cincinnati, and that was the one loss, right?
So Oklahoma, let's say Oklahoma State. See, I don't know if Oklahoma State's going to jump Notre Dame or not. They may after the Big 12 championship game if they play Baylor, who also moves up one because Michigan drops below them, right? And then the other thing is, does Michigan drop below Baylor if they compete with Ohio State if they have the same record as Baylor?
No, do they drop below? Well, I don't know who Baylor plays this week, so let's see. What does Baylor play?
Won't matter because Baylor will jump them if they beat.
Yeah, because that's what should happen. I mean, to beat Oklahoma, Baylor, or the Big 12. We're saying that the Big 12 isn't as good a conference. It's not, but beating Oklahoma is better than anybody.
But see, no one's jumping 3 spots when everybody wins. That's the point I'm making.
I understand that, but it's just that the Cincinnati schedule is just so weak compared.
Right, but you have to jump 3 spots at once. So you have to.
Well, no, they don't have to jump at once. They just have to jump. They have to go from 7 to 5, and then if they beat Baylor, they go up 1 spot.
So take it 1 week at a time, right? So Baylor wins. They're still at 8. Okay. Oklahoma, Michigan loses.
Right.
Then the challenge becomes, how bad did you lose to Ohio State? If you lost in a barn burner, do you drop Michigan below, or do you drop them 1 above Baylor?
Because the thing is, you have to say.
I'm asking you.
Yeah, they would go below because it's late, and Michigan really hasn't played. Their schedule hasn't been very good. Did they play Penn State? So Michigan didn't play Penn State, did they?
Yeah,
they did.
Yes, they're in the same division, and they beat them.
Okay, that's a decent win. That's a good win to me.
Yeah.
But they lost to Michigan State.
Yeah, that's a bad loss, but not to them.
Yeah,
it's the way they lost. So that's my question. Does Michigan stay above Baylor and drop to 7? Or they go down to 9 and 10. I think that late in the season, let's assume Michigan drops below them. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I can't see them being ranked ahead of Notre Dame, Oklahoma State, or Baylor with the loss this late.
Okay. So now you got Georgia 1, Ohio State 2, Bama 3. Cincinnati's going to win. They're 4. Then you got Notre Dame 5, Oklahoma State 6, Baylor 7. Now, Oklahoma State plays Baylor. Who wins that game?
I don't know, but I'm saying you just assume.
In that scenario, it doesn't matter which one.
Oh, you know what? It doesn't matter because either way, now you have a Big 12 team in the contention for that 4th spot. Right. Whoever wins.
So let's say, just for argument's sake, Oklahoma State beats Baylor. So they went through Oklahoma and Baylor now, right? So now, but they're at 6 right now. Right? They'll jump Notre Dame because Notre Dame has a bye. They're not playing.
I'm hopping them.
They're going to be penalized, right? That puts them at 5. Cincinnati handily beats Houston.
The thing is, I don't know if Cincinnati will beat Houston.
But I'm just giving you a scenario.
Yeah.
Right? Then do you jump them, assuming Bama beats Georgia?
I'm jumping them.
Because if Bama doesn't beat Georgia, Oklahoma State's in.
Yeah. But the thing is, I don't want Cincinnati in the playoff.
So what? So here's a scenario. Cincinnati loses, Bama loses.
Ooh.
Now you got Notre Dame and Oklahoma State.
Notre Dame and a Big 12 team. Because that's really what I think is ended up happening.
So I don't see a path for Bama to get in with 2 losses, even though they should be in, even though they're better than both Oklahoma State and Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. So if Bama loses, triple overtime, barn burner, great game. It's everything we expected, man. Right?
Yeah.
It's like the greatest college football ever. The whole country is watching this game, and they can't get their guys off the TV set. Do you knock Bama out? Because they're 3 right now.
Well, and the team they lost to now is 15. A&M's at 15 and in the playoff, not in the polls. In the playoff, they have them at 15.
Yeah. That's a good loss still.
Mm-hmm. To lose to the 15 team in Georgia, but I guess maybe you say, hey, those are the breaks. I mean, your schedule worked out the way it worked out.
You could, because Oklahoma State's schedule is just now Oklahoma and Baylor. Mm-hmm. Really,
that's a good schedule though. A strength of schedule to get you over the top, to get you back in. They got a lot to play for, man.
But Bama's schedule is way harder.
Oh yeah.
So those are just the scenarios to think about. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Let's I wanted to get into this too, because I think there's some good things that we talked about, the coaching searches. So these are the coaches that just signed extensions. I kind of looked this up before we talked. PJ Fleck at Minnesota, James Franklin at
he signed a 10-year contract.
Yeah. Penn State, Scott Frost at Nebraska, Mike Gundy at Oklahoma State. What have Chase Frank twice? Hugh Freeze at Liberty. That one hurt.
That hurts me to my core.
All right. So those are the coaches that signed extensions. These are the big coaching spots that are open. Coaches, schools that are looking for coaches now. Florida, LSU, TCU, USC, Virginia Tech, Washington, and Washington State. That's a lot of big time schools.
Wow, 3 Pac-12 schools and 2 SECs.
Mm-hmm. And then the ACC, Virginia Tech. I mean, that's a good program.
That's like 6 schools, right?
Well, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7. Sorry. Ooh.
Who's the 7?
I would Florida.
No,
TCU.
Yeah.
That was
wrong. That was wrong what they did.
That was a good. I think he's a good coach.
Yeah. He should. Yeah.
Would you mind going after him at Miami? Gary Patterson? You don't think he'd fit? I don't know if he'd fit.
I don't know if he fit. Hugh Freeze would have. Mario Cristobal will. Art Briles will.
Would you really want Mario Cristobal? He can recruit.
I think the alumni definitely want him. But here's the problem. Miami has to, if they go after somebody that's currently employed, you have to buy them out of their contract, which Miami doesn't do that. That's too much money for them.
The only one who I could think of that they would have to do that would probably be Art Briles.
Yeah, but he's probably not even on their radar.
Yeah.
That's my radar, not
them. Yeah.
So I don't know who they're looking at.
I heard people throwing around Bob Stoops. I don't know if I'd want Bob Stoops.
For Miami? That name was thrown around?
Period.
Or in general?
In general, yeah.
He's a good coach. The other name that's thrown around that we haven't mentioned is Peterson.
Chris Peterson? He likes small time. I think he would do like a TCU type place.
He would do very well at TCU.
Yeah. That would be that I think would be a fit for him. I don't think he liked big city.
I don't think he could do well in the ACC. He doesn't have the contact. The SEC may chew him up. He's a good coach though, so you never know.
He's a good coach, but I don't think he just like I just think he likes like small college setting.
Washington, Boise State.
I think
And then TCU would be a natural progression.
I think that's the same thing for like Mike Leach, right? It's not. I'm not knocking. Like the job is too big for him. I just think he just a personal preference. Like Mike Leach, like small town college.
Mississippi State's he's doing well with Mississippi State.
It's a small town place though. It's not. It's not like Miami or LA because he wasn't. They always brought up his name when he was at Boise for the SC job, and he would always turn it down. It's like he doesn't want to be around LA.
That would have been interesting for him at SC.
Because I think they might be talking about him now at the job, but it's like I don't think he likes.
He could stay. Here's the thing. Whoever takes the SC job, number one, you gotta win back Southern Cal, right? Recruiting, because they're all going everywhere else.
Going to the SEC.
Yeah. But number two, you got an opportunity to dominate that conference. That conference is open for someone to come in and take over. And Cristobal is in the position to do that. Oregon just chokes.
They got good. They get good recruits there. They're putting players into the league like that front. Like I'm real high. Like people talk about Thibodeau, rightfully so, but Noah Sewell, man, this kid is so big and so fast. Like he just jumps off the screen to me. It's like, man, this kid, he is.
If you know what? If all you got is Thibodeau, you can neutralize him and just run the opposite direction.
No, they got
to keep moving Thibodeau around. They got Sewell too. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, but they got an interior guy on there. I'm no,
whatever
expert.
They got, Utah lit them up and dominated them.
Yeah, but they got players up there and exactly that.
They neutralized Thibodeau.
Yeah, they did.
Utah's usually got some good linemen though.
Yeah, they got these big old Polynesian guys that. The 2020, that's kind of the same BYU.
Came back from the mission.
Came back from their mission. Men. Yeah, grown. They're grown, and they just maul you.
They had some in the NFL as rookies at the age of 30.
Yeah, they have. Yeah, they got some big 6'7", 320 linemen, and they move real well, man. So that Utah's has a formula. It's not a playoff formula, but it's definitely we're gonna beat you up, and it's gonna be a physical Saturday. For sure.
In the Pac-12 because BYU lit them up.
Well, BYU is the same. They're running the same plan. They just
and
did
BYU would get destroyed when they play somebody good. Come on, man.
Well, I mean, if Virginia was probably the outside of the Pac-12,
not that good though.
That's what I'm saying.
And their quarterback got hurt too.
So. No, that's what I'm saying. That was their only opportunity to play somebody out like a
quote-unquote
Power 5.
Yeah, and they massacred.
But the coaching search, I think this is a bad time to be looking for a coach. So I think Manny Diaz stays just for that reason. Right now, it's just like there's nobody to fire him to say this is better. And I don't think Miami's a program that'll pony up to fire Diaz and then pony up to pay whatever.
Because they do got, I think his
buyout's
like $10 million.
Oof.
So because they gave him an extension. Now here's the one thing that he has going in his favor. Two things. Number one, the kids are playing for him right now, right? They're competing, and I think they're seeing that. Number two, they don't have an AD. So without the athletic director. And for the athletic director is going to come in. When he comes in, where are you in the recruiting cycle?
Yeah, it's too late.
Yeah, and
we got a month left till to the signing day. If that.
I know, but you got to work fast. So if he's going to go right after the Duke game.
You know what? The thing is, with Florida looking for that's the bigger job. So
anything SEC is a bigger job.
Number three, you're competing against Florida now.
Here's what
for a coach.
Here's what he's got working against him. Alumni, they want somebody in there now that can win. You have the ex-players. They're saying, look, this is what Manny Diaz didn't do. He didn't call us to come in and help us recruit. Why aren't you using those guys to recruit?
They love it there.
They love it there.
The
They
XU
want to
guys
come
love.
in. They want to help coach, not necessarily on the payroll, but just come in and
Yeah.
give some input on techniques and teach these
Yeah.
guys
Mhm.
and show them, hey, this is how you win at
Is Ed
Miami.
Reed on staff?
He's the only one. He's chief of something. He's not a coach. He kind of like oversees the operation.
Yeah, I've seen an interview with him, and he was.
Yeah, I mean,
he was.
Miami's got some great players that can really influence these kids.
Mm-hmm.
But by the way, your boy's out for the year.
Oh, I know, man. I saw you sent me that message. That sucks.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But I love Tyler Van Dyke, the quarterback.
He looked good in the Florida State game. I think
raining in that game. He's kind of hard to judge somebody on.
Florida State. I think they should give Norvell some time because I think he's a good coach.
They're 5-1 since they started 0-4.
Oh, really? I haven't been paying attention. So that's good. He can coach. I think once he gets his quarterback rolling and gets everything rolling over there.
Norvell ain't going nowhere yet. It's too early for that.
Yeah. I think people the expectation used to be 5 years. You give a coach 5 years. Now it's 3 years, and now it seems like it's even less. It seems like, but I think
you got to have
there's some progress, right?
Yeah, you have some progress.
I think the especially with last year being a funky year, that really threw off a lot of.
It may have thrown them off, but you know what? Some teams still won that win, so you got to count it. And Miami's progression stalled. So,
well, the thing was that was year 3 for Manny Diaz. The thing is, I never liked the hire in the first place.
No. I mean, they had to buy him out from going to Temple, man. Come on.
You're competing with Temple. It's not a good. I don't.
They didn't even do a search, and that's the problem that the alumni were having. You were lazy. You didn't do a legit search. These guys got to do a legit search and find out who's out there.
Yeah. They're out there.
Talent. You should have a high-powered offense, and your defense, it can be built on speed, but you can't go play a team that's got these linemen that's going to just run over you, right? So you got to have a strong line also.
Well, I mean, you talk about speed down in Florida, but I mean, that's SEC territory. You get big boys down there too. So it's not like it's only speed. You get big boys with speed down there. They're just going, they were going to Florida. They were going to, Georgia and Bama or South Carolina.
Right. And
Clemson, I'm sorry.
They were getting massacred, literally destroyed by anybody ranked. So this is like the first year, but then you got to think to yourself, how legit was Pitt and North Carolina State as ranked teams, right? I got to be just as critical about those teams as I am the Pac-12. Now, granted, Pitt is actually a decent team. They can score on offense. North Carolina State's okay, right? So Miami beat those teams. Good, that's a step in the right direction. But if you played Bama right now, would you still lose 45-17? Would you still get massacred today? Did you improve at all from week 1? Could you beat? They would.
I think they would. I think they would. They might have scored like 2 touchdowns.
Can you beat Michigan State?
I think so. Today? I think so. Yeah.
Are you going to struggle against Appalachian State?
I think I don't know if I think more highly of Appalachian State or Michigan State.
Appalachian State ain't that good this year, man.
No, I'm just saying as a program, like that's one of those like what is it, North Dakota type programs. Like, hey, they play where they got a good program there, and they compete year in and year out. So I got respect for those as a football program.
So how much have you improved? That's the big thing. And then I got to look at Miami's schedule for next year. Who you playing? I think they have a easier non-conference schedule next year. I don't remember who they play.
I was looking at UCLA's non-conference next year. I think we play like Alabama State. It's a great schedule. It's an SEC type schedule. This is a true cupcake.
Everybody. So here's the thing before you jump on the SEC schedule, because it's always wrong. Number one, everybody's got cupcakes, but the SEC is always scheduling a
Listen,
Power 5 power game.
No, look at 10, 15 years ago, the SEC was not what it is now. They built and feasted on cupcakes to help them out. Like nobody other. The Mercers, everybody else now
They
is
still
just late.
play them, but everybody does.
Everybody is just late to the party now, and they're
They've always no Oregon's championship years when they were running the Pac-12. I remember having these conversations. In fact, remember when Oregon played LSU in the national championship?
Was it LSU or was it Auburn?
They played LSU national championship game. Maybe it was Auburn.
I think it was.
I think it was LSU.
It was a Cam Newton. Cam Newton.
Okay, so they played Auburn national championship game. Everybody's pumping up LSU. So I went to a sports bar in Beverly Hills, and right there was Strahan and who's the other guy, the wrestler guy that's with him. I can't remember his name.
The wrestler guy.
He's not a wrestler guy. He does MMA now, right?
Oh, the ball Glazer.
Yeah, Glazer, right? Mm-hmm. So they're there. They're actually hanging with us. We're having a great conversation, and I'm making fun of Strahan. I mean, I'm really ripping him apart because he's thinking Oregon's going to beat Auburn. I'm like, no. So Auburn scores on the opening possession, and I looked at him. I said, think about it, dude. You ain't playing Eastern Washington, and you ain't playing Texas San Antonio. They were sorry at the time. And every time they would do something, I'd say, you're not playing these guys right now. You're playing the SEC. And then Auburn did something again. I looked at him and he says, Ricky, I know. We're not playing so-and-so. We're not playing so-and-so. I said, Pac-12 sucks, bro. I said, you shouldn't be there, but you are because of your schedule.
Listen.
But guess what?
Auburn won that game off of that Michael Dyer knee that they thought he was down, and he ran for like another 30 yards. That was a close game. So that was not Oregon.
Oregon was a good team.
Oregon did not get run out of the building. They
did not get run out of the building.
That was a deciding
Michael
play.
Dyer. He remembers that.
Yeah.
I didn't remember till you brought it up.
Yeah.
But the point I was making was because Oregon's they do these like, okay, we're gonna get the ball, we're gonna score a touchdown, we're gonna have these weird formations, we're gonna go for two. Mm-hmm. It didn't work the first time. Yeah. And that's what I said. You're playing a team right now.
Yeah.
I said these little trick crap. Welcome to the SEC.
Yeah. It's a lot different running those. Yeah. But the thing is just it's the confusion part that's what I like. And so that's why, I like watching UCLA Chip Kelly because it's fun. It's fun football to watch, man.
They're not Chip Kelly's team, but they would play Eastern Washington. Portland State would be.
But they would go to play Tennessee, and they boat race Tennessee.
Oregon,
I think it was Oregon, or it might have been Cal.
Not
was
Oregon.
It Cal?
Yeah.
You know what game I'm talking about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I remember that. All right, yeah. I always get
Oregon had a legit horrible schedule. That's like you got to go undefeated and win the Pac-12. You're going to have any.
That's the formula.
That was BCS time, so they're using computer ratings.
Yeah. But that was the SEC's like, hey, they would play nobody out of conference, and then they would play each other, and then they would get pumped up, and then it was until finally later in the BCS that they finally started going to neutral site games. That's a new thing within the last 5 to 10 years, where it's like, playing a big marquee out of conference because of the complaint of like, hey, you would schedule these. If you wanted to get into the BCS, that was the formula. Cupcakes out of conference, win your conference.
The reason why they had the cupcakes out of conference because their conference was brutal.
No, it wasn't. And at that time, it wasn't.
It was because they're getting ranked teams every week.
They were ranked, but that was because ESPN was pumping them up, man.
I wanted to pull that lie out of you. ESPN pumping them up. They're pumping up good
Saban
teams.
Didn't come to Bama until what, 09, 08? When did Saban get there?
I don't know.
It's like 08, 09.
Years,
that's when he supercharged that conference, man.
But they were still good.
He at Ellis, he was at LSU.
You had 7 straight years, SEC, with 4 different teams win a national championship, man. You can't.
And shared it too.
No, BCS, they won it straight up.
Yeah, I mean you
Auburn,
had
Bama,
SC,
LSU, Florida.
SC a couple
in a
Texas
7-year period, right?
SC, Texas. Who else was in there? I can't remember anymore.
Exactly. SC Tech is one of the few non-SEC BCS championship games. Without
Oklahoma.
Who'd Oklahoma play?
Florida. They dumped them, I think. Or no, that was the other way around.
Other way around.
Yeah.
I remember when everybody thought USC should have been in, and they went out to play Oklahoma and massacred them in the Orange Bowl. I remember telling people, SC's pissed.
Yeah.
I'd take the Trojans on this one.
Yeah, I don't know which other coaches though would I would take a look at that list that you sent me a few weeks back. That was a good list, man. Yeah, Franklin
trash now.
The Franklin to SC I thought would have been a good move.
I don't think so.
That's not happening now, obviously, because
I don't think it would have been a good move. Think about it. What has Penn State done in the Big 12?
Aside from the Barkley, they
haven't won it.
No, they won that year. They went to the Rose Bowl
with Franklin.
With
Franklin.
Yeah, that was Franklin.
So that was Franklin's.
Mm-hmm. That was he's.
I do remember them going to the Rose Bowl one year.
Yeah, they played SC and Darnold won that game for them. That was a good Rose Bowl, man.
It was. That was one of the better Rose Bowl games.
Mm-hmm.
Actually,
that's one of the best ones in the last since the.
That was a high scoring game. If I remember
SC Texas one. Yeah, that was that was a great one. Yeah, your list.
Well,
let's go to the next week's game, man. We got a lot of rivalry games. We'll finish off there. Where is this? Is this what I'm looking for? Oh, I got a list here. OSU, Michigan State.
In Michigan?
OSU, Michigan.
That's in Ann Arbor, right?
I believe so.
I don't care. I like Ohio State.
Yeah, I like Ohio State.
Michigan, I think Michigan might show up, though.
It's a rivalry game.
Yeah, I think they're going to show up for this game, but I don't think they're going to win. Ohio State's got too many weapons, and Michigan doesn't have enough on offense to compete.
I haven't seen them play, but I
they're
think
starting
the
to
only ones.
I
think the only one I watched part of the Washington Michigan game. That was not good.
Why?
This is not right. This is the wrong. I thought I had notes on this. Auburn, Bama. I think we talked about that one already.
Bama, baby. Roll Tide in that one. Don't choke.
That's not what I wanted.
No 100. Don't kick a field goal and let them run it back 110, 190.
Oh, man. Ole Miss, Mississippi State on Thursday. That'll be a good game.
It'll be a good game. You know what? That could go either way. I like Ole Miss, but that could go. Mississippi State can absolutely win that game.
Ohio State, Michigan. Baylor plays Texas Tech. Texas Tech is kind of dangerous, I guess.
About as dangerous as a frog.
Oklahoma State. That's the game right there.
Bedlam, baby.
What is that? That's at 5:30. That's in Stillwater.
Here's the thing about that game. This is the Big 12's only real legit shot of a playoff. Because if Baylor has to play Oklahoma, I think it loses luster.
Because they played already.
No, because the ranking
already.
Because the rankings. Because Oklahoma, so if Oklahoma wins, they're 10. If Oklahoma wins the table coming from 10, and they got one loss, they don't have. That means they would have beaten Oklahoma State and Baylor.
Well, I guess they get the revenge, right? They get
the revenge. But I think if you're the front runner in the Big 10, Big 12, you kind of need to stay there to have a legit path.
Yeah, I think they're too far out. They're at 10 right now.
They're at 10. But I mean, Michigan will go down. Alabama could go down. Cincinnati could lose to Houston, maybe.
What if there's a bunch of one loss or a one, a bunch of one loss? What is it? Would it be two losses, right? For each of these.
You know what, though? See, if those scenarios play out like that, you got to think you still got to consider Alabama if that's a barn.
If that's the case, yeah.
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 Who else? So, yeah, I mean that's gonna be an exciting game. That should be must see TV.
Yeah.
Oklahoma State. Who does Miami play? They even have a game this week?
Duke. Who cares?
Ooh.
And no oohs, they'll win that game.
No, I just said ooh, like
yeah, big deal.
Yeah.
Who's UCLA play?
Cal.
Okay. Ooh.
I'm just you know what? So I think somebody had kind of like done kind of what you do. If UCLA wins out, they could end up in the Sun Bowl and play Miami in the Sun Bowl.
See that I'd watch because I've been talking trash about UCLA.
Oh, and I've been talking trash about Miami.
Yeah, I'd watch that one.
Oh man, I think you don't you owe me like a lunch or dinner for a bet already.
I think so.
Yeah, I
think then lunch.
One
I can't remember what it was.
I'm going to go back and listen to one of the earlier episodes.
But I think it was. I think I owe you.
Yeah.
I think it was because of the LSU game.
Was it?
Maybe.
I can't remember. But that would be great, man.
We'd have to go double or nothing on that.
Yeah. Yeah. Dinner now. Not In-N-Out. I want to go somewhere expensive.
Why? In-N-Out, you the way you eat an In-N-Out, it's equivalent.
Yeah, that's what you mean, like
going to Maestro's.
Yeah, you have to give me the long. Yeah, exactly. We'll do Longhorn. I think we're good for this week, man. I don't know if we'll do one next. Oh yeah, it'll be the SEC. Do they get a week off or 2 weeks for the?
No weeks off.
They go no weeks. All right, so we'll do another one.
4th or 5th is the Pac-12 championship is next Friday.
All right, man. This has been a good one, man. A lot of coaching stuff going on, a lot of moving parts, rivalry games finishing up. This is the best playoff from week 1 to now. What week 12? Mm-hmm. Every week matters, man. This is why
separation Saturday.
They're supposed to be every week, but now it's truly like now we're slicing at hairs. Yeah, man. Yeah. Awesome. All right, man. We'll do it again next week, brother.
You got it.
All right, take care.
All right, bye.